Hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Johnny Freeborn. You're watching Central Valley Talk Business. And Brad Huff, you've been on the show before.
Several times, yes.
With StudentNest.com.
Correct.
Give us a brief recap on...
Okay, well, the most recent news is that the president now of StudentNest.com is Monica Joshi, and she's a native of India. And so this is now qualified as a woman-owned, minority-owned company. So that means that we are now eligible for a number of things that are available for women-owned, minority-owned companies.
I didn't know that makes a difference, but
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I think there's some tax incentives and a variety of things that make it. So if you happen to know a woman who's a minority who would like to start a business, she should look into
Make her the CEO.
right. Look into that. The factors involved in that. Anyway, what's been happening us is we have won contracts to tutor students in Portland, Oregon, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So we're branching out. Also, we're now working with a number of Native American reservations to provide tutoring for the children who are on these.
It's like an explosion of growth. Since you've been here last time, right?
Well, at our office, we are very alert to things called RFPs, which are requests for proposals.
Okay.
And we take a look at them, and if it looks like it's something that we can do to help kids learn in some way or another, then we write the proposal, and we've been very successful in getting the contracts to do that.
That's great.
So
you guys have a good head on your shoulders over there.
A good business sense, yes.
Yeah.
Looking for ways to grow the business.
Wow.
So last time I was here, we talked about LOTUS, which stands for Learning Online Through Universal Systems, and this is basically a standalone product. Before we were doing live tutoring, one-on-one tutoring, where we had tutors who then worked with children, and some very successful. We've tutored over 50,000 students in the history of the company. But this LOTUS system, it's adaptive technology. So if a student has a Chromebook or laptop or tablet or something like that, then what this does is it tests them. And if they get the questions right, it asks harder and harder questions until they get some wrong. And then it's a computer-based system. So the computer then figures out, okay, this is about where the student is. And then we'll begin to offer instruction and then, formative assessment. That is, asking the student, they'll provide the student with some exercises to do, some instruction, some exercises, and then there'll be some testing. And then that will determine, did the student understand this concept or this skill? And if they do, then they'll move on to something more advanced. If not, then they'll go back and work on it some more. And this has been very, very successful. There's a local school district that has been using it, and what we hear is that the teachers like it and the students are finding it very interesting. One thing in particular, if a student does not have internet at home, they take the tablet home with them, they work on it in the evening when they get back to school where they have internet access, then it uploads everything they've done, updates the record and so on, so that there's no need for a family to have internet access all the time. Recently, another RFP that came out was to do mentoring for at-risk kids in Fresno Unified. So we were invited to be interviewed, and now we've been notified that they would like us to work with these students. And what we did was we put together a partnership with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. And so the academic part we'll take care of, and then the counseling, social workers and so on to help these kids and so on. We have both aspects of this put together. So we're really, really pleased to be able to pull that together. And Big Brothers Big Sisters, I think they're in something like 19 schools in the Central Valley area, and so they're very excited about the LOTUS package, to help with those students with their academic aspect of things, and then they'll continuing to help with the helping them with attendance and attitude and all these various things to try to help the students be more successful.
Very good. So you guys are providing Big Brothers and Big Sisters with tools they haven't had for years.
Right, exactly. Okay. Yep, that's what we're
wonderful.
trying to do. And then also at the Los Angeles County Office of Education, we've been using a computer literacy training program there. to teach students who are in the group homes and so on. These are students who are out of school for a variety of reasons, but they still are under 18, so education has to be provided. So one of the things that's been very successful for us is teaching the students Word and Excel and PowerPoint and point of sale skills, so that when they get out of that program, then they can apply for jobs and so on for, I mean, it could be a fast food restaurant or something like that, but they're not, we've pre-trained them so they know a lot of stuff so that they'll be able to, get the job.
That's amazing. You're setting people up for success, and
we do our best. We do our best. Then in San Bernardino County, we have about 15 or 20 people who are living in the area who are now working with students who are on probation there, and they meet with them either in their homes or someplace that has internet access, because one of the things that we have developed, we have about 1,000 math lessons and 1,000 English language arts lessons, and we also are developing science and history lessons and one thing and another to help these students academically. And so the tutors, although it's face-to-face, in San Bernardino County.
It's hard to say.
Right. Quickly anyway.
Right.
They meet with these students one-on-one, but then they have a computer set up, so they have access to all this instructional material to help, so they don't have to make up stuff, off the top of their heads.
What I love about you guys, you're making yourself a resource in so many facets, so many different ways. What a great business model.
As best we can. And then one thing we talked about last time was this digital audio network, or workshop, DIW, digital audio workshop. And Dr. Corneliuson, who's in the music department at University High School, has developed quite a few modules to help students understand the basics of music, but it also ties in mathematics, because you have whole notes and half notes and quarter notes and triplets and so on. So we're combining music and math, and a little science along the way and so on, about frequencies and that sort of thing. And then after they do that, the crowning achievement is that they learn how to use a mixer and so on, so that they can then create backbeats and so on, and then it's a computer generated sounds and so on, so they can actually produce music that our plan is that then it would be commercial. I mean, that they, if somebody actually creates a song that is catchy and so on, that then they can market it to some record company or some rap artist or something like that, and make some money on it.
Can you imagine if Beethoven never got the necessary fundamentals, that you guys are offering?
Well, the electronic
to now to the masses, right? You're making this widely available.
Well, with Beethoven, a piano, I think, was the
of course, yeah.
That was the main thing, where you could play all the parts in different frequencies and so on. So, but I mean, today with the electronics that we have and so on, why you can generate virtually any musical sound and then mix them together and that kind of thing.
Right, and it's fun. I love to dabble in that in my spare time.
Right. So,
and it keeps kids out of trouble.
Yeah, well, that's that. Well, the thing is that we've been marketing this digital audio workshop to, again, the Los Angeles County Office of Education for their kids that are in these group homes and one thing or another. Particularly, I mean, there are a lot of kids that have been involved in gangs and one thing or another, and they like music, they like listening to music, and so this is a mechanism by which we can kind of hook them on, okay, what do you like? Then can you reproduce the kinds of sounds and so on that you like to listen to, and hopefully get them hooked into that they see that this is something they can do. It's creative. It also, as I said, involves math and science and one thing or another. I mean, we're kind of big on STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and so virtually all the stuff that we do is linked in with helping students be prepared for the jobs of the future.
Very good. It's always a pleasure to have you on, Brad Huff.
Well, thank you.
StudentS.com. Make sure and check them out. We ran out of time, but I always love talking to you.
Well, thank you.
And make sure and come back.
Well, thanks. Thank you much.
All right. We'll be right back.